Okay, so today I wanted to explain to you a little bit about this two object pronouns combined. I know that the indirect and the direct together gets a little confusing, so I just wanted to clarify it because it's really not. It looks confusing, but I'm going to tell you the way to look at it that makes it so much easier for you. Okay, ready? So we're going to take that sentence that I think I already put in some of the videos, but it's a very good sentence to explain this, which is, I explain the lesson to the students, which is what I do all the time, right? So in this sentence, we will have an indirect and a direct object pronouns, and we're gonna combine them, and you'll see why I say that it's so easy. Okay, ready? So yo, I'll put it really big. I hope that you can see it. Yes. Explico. And then we're gonna have la lección, the lesson. Okay, so that because I don't have room, I'm just gonna put X, so I'm explaining something to you, right? Even estudiantes is a little big, okay? So what you are explaining, as you saw in the videos that I put at the beginning of the week, or actually it was yesterday, this is the objeto directo. Actually, I'm going to put this in English. I get mixed up with English and Spanish, okay? So direct object pronoun, because that's the what, okay? So that's the one that has me, te, lo, la, nos, os, los, las. ¿Vale? Sí, okay. Now, to whom you're doing something, okay? So basically what you're going to think about is that this is the thing, a little square there, like a house, okay? This is the what, okay? That's direct. The indirect is to whom or for whom you're going to do something, explain something, whatever, okay? This one here. So this is going to be indirect object, okay? This is the one that will change mete, then the third person will be le, and then nosos, and then les. So the controversy here will be with that. This le and les, okay, that's the indirect. And then lo, la, los, and las. Why am I putting this here together in this little square? Because in a sentence like this one, what you're going to do is that you're going to say, I explain the lesson, la, to them, les, sorry, to her, le, to him, le. Okay, so you're going to put these guys together now. Okay, so let's go back to the sentence. So los estudiantes, in this case, let me erase this. So, okay, so let's do it in order as if it was sort of like a mathematical equation, so slowly. So you have this X that's like la lección, the lesson, okay. So that's la. We know that it is feminine because it's la lección, so you have la. Now to los estudiantes, les, because it's to them, okay? Muy bien. Now you have these two guys together. We're gonna leave that little box there so that you'll see why I have it there. So now what we're going to do is that we're going to substitute these things, thus pronouns. Pronouns means that they will substitute this noun or noun phrase with a pronoun, right? So we're gonna put this here and this here, okay? So I'm gonna say, so again, this is like bad Spanish now. Okay, so now we have la and les, right? Rule number one. In a sentence, okay, like I explain it to them, this is what we're doing. Yo explico la lección a los estudiantes. We're going to substitute lección en estudiantes and we're going to say, yo, explico. I explain it to them. Okay, so just in case anybody was wondering, why are we doing this? Le, la, le, lo, le. Okay, we're going to say it to them. And this it to them is this here. Okay, this it to them is what gets a little confusing. But bear with me, it's very easy. Okay, so rule number one is that the indirect goes first and the direct goes after. Okay, so in any sentence that you have, make a note of this. Regardless of what you're saying, that you're doing something, that you will do something, that you would like to do something, you will always put those two, indirect and direct. Okay? So put I here and D here. So let's move the les, the estudiantes, and the la lección. Okay? The only thing that this gets controversial or weird is that when you have this pair here, which is this box here, okay, le, lo, le, las, les, let's say you're explaining jokes, that would be los, to them, then you'll have les, los, okay, the movie to her, le, la, okay. In Spanish, what happens is that this combination is not allowed, as in like le, lo, le, las, and these guys here will basically turn into se. That's it. So whatever you're explaining to anybody, one joke, lo, one movie, la, many jokes, los, many movies, las, to whomever you explain it, it's going to become se when these guys are together. Therefore, the combination is always going to be, actually let me write them all. Se, la, se, lo, se, las, and se, los. And this is what I mean by easy. Basically, you don't have to worry about to whom you're explaining or doing anything. That is always going to be se now, because the indirect, talking about third person, okay? To him, to her, to them, to you, ustedes, eh? This is only the third person. Le, les is third person, singular, plural, right? So, se, la, se, lo, se, las, se, los. And that's it. Again, the combination will always be in indirect and then direct. When the third person singular and plural together, this le, lo, le, las, you have to scratch that. And you cannot say le, lo, le, la, le, los, le, las. You're going to substitute it by se. Not to be confused with the reflexive. That has nothing to do with that other se. There are quite a few ses in Spanish, so don't worry about that, okay? So, going back to our sentence, I explain it to them. We're going to then substitute this les, right? I hope you can still see that. Yes. Yo explico se la. And then you're thinking, those of you who have already studied some Spanish, Profesora, that doesn't sound very good, okay? Because I'm not saying, this sounds like a translation from English directly. I explain to them it, right? Okay, so rule number 2. Rule number 1 was first indirect, then direct. Rule number 2, when you conjugate the verb, like yo explico, I explain, these guys will go before. I'm going to rewrite it for you now. When you conjugate a verb, I explain something to somebody, like this case, you're going to put it before the verb, which I already kind of said it in the other videos. So this rule applies to all conjugated verbs when you're doing just the direct. Yo te explico, remember? You put it before. So we're going to do the same thing now, okay? I'm going to erase really quickly. That's why I said dot, dot, dot. So here you have, and then explico, right? So that, those two things that we learned here, la because it's the lesson, yo se la explico. I explained it to, and then this say, you're thinking, is it a ellos, a ella, a él, a usted? We don't know. Usually we specify later and you say, yo se la explico, and then we say, for example, a ella, or a Ana, Okay, so you specify, because that se could be le, les, and it could be to him, to her, to them, to you guys in the ustedes, etc. Remember that the ustedes always goes with the third person, the le and the les. Muy bien. Okay, so I hope this helps a little bit with these se lo, se la, and you enjoyed this video.